Alright, so for video 1, we focused on completing the square when we were already equal to 0 at the beginning. This time we're going to still do completing the square, but this time you notice we're not equal to 0 at this point. Okay, so we're going to learn how to complete the square when we're not equal to 0. Now, here's the thing. This actually is kind of making it easier in this case because I don't have to worry about moving my constant over. It's already been moved. So all I need to do is figure out what's going to go in my empty space. So I'm going to take my b value of -4 and divide it by 2. That gives me -2. Then I'm going to take that number, -2, and I'm going to square it. And -2 squared is a +4. So now my new quadratic is x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals -1 plus 4, because we have to put it on both sides, remember. Alright, now we will factor this. X minus 2 and x minus 2. Again, remember, I'm getting this number from what I got right here. Equals -1 plus 4, which is 3. This right here is the same as x minus 2 times x minus 2 equals 3. Take the square root of both sides. I now have x minus 2 equals positive and negative. This time I'm not going to have a perfect square. The square root of 3 is not a perfect square. So I'm going to leave it in the square root. Alright. Go ahead and split it up. I have x minus 2 equals square root of 3. X minus 2 equals negative square root of 3. For this one I will add 2. And I'll get x equals square root of 3 plus 2. For the other one, still adding 2, but this time I get negative square root of 3 plus 2. Now, if you wanted to stop there, you are perfectly fine to. If you wanted to go ahead and combine these answers, you can do that because they're basically the same except for this one's positive, this one's negative, just as we've seen before. We can go ahead and write our final answer as positive negative square root of 3 plus 2. And that's it. Alright. I will show you guys one more example here. So, this time I have x squared minus 10x equals -16. Again, why don't you take this opportunity to pause the video, you try it on your own, then resume and see if you get the correct answer. Alright, so I'm going to take -10, that's my b value, divided by 2, to give me -5. -5 squared is 25. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my quadratic, x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals -16 plus 25. So that's what I have right now. I can go ahead and start factoring to get x minus 5, because that's what I got up here, times x minus 5 equals -16 plus 25. That should be 9. Alright. From there I have x minus 5 squared equals 9. I can take the square root. Give those cancel out to give me x minus 5 equals the square root of 9 is a positive and -3. Let's go ahead and split this up. X minus 5 equals +3. Add 5 to both sides. And I get x equals 8. as my first answer. Then for my second answer, x minus 5 equals negative 3. Add 5. I get x equals 2 as my other answer. And there you go, guys. There is the gist of how to do completing the square.